Folks, what's going on? I'm up early on this Wednesday, April 20th, 420. Significant for many different things. Feeling activated. I will be changing today, though, yeah. I won't be wearing this all day. I'm just got up and I'm feeling activated and was very much curious to see further feedback on my last video where I just talked about things that really concern me. And I'm really happy to say that I only had to delete 3 comments. One I deleted not because it was negative, but because it would have distracted from the main point. 2 others were just plain ignorant. Just plainly ignorant. It's a travesty. So you'll get some music today, but I'm going to talk some more about my background. As I shared in the last video, and I've said it before, my background is a licensed mental health professional. Rehabilitation specialist was my last job title. But in that capacity, when I worked for Community Alliance, our agency was recognized by the National Alliance of the Mentally Ill, NAMI, and through NAMI, Nebraska. And the agency was recognized as a hero in the fight against stigma and just poor treatment of the mentally ill. But what was cool that year was at that ceremony, the agency was recognized with an award, and then I, as an individual employee and the only one, received the same award as the whole agency. Individual community supporter. My work took me across the state. I worked throughout the state of Nebraska, doing all kinds of stuff, including basic geriatric stuff. So Lisa, I understand what you're saying about your family member. Caring for the elderly and their physical needs is a super challenge, and really no one wants to do it. And so people really fall down on that job and really treat people like garbage. So, really, frankly, encouraged by the comments in general from people. Again, one person, I left it up. It's people just get off on... It is cool what you share. It's cool, okay? But I wanted to share this, and I decided, because a couple of people asked about the music that I was playing in the background, it occurred to me, here's something I can do. A bit of a service. I am going to... That's my project for today, is to put up a digital album based on what I played in last night's video. One of those I need to actually remix because you heard me say, those drums, don't remember that. And not everything that flowed by in the background I'll put on there, but the ones that are I was specifically trying to, that caught my ear as I was talking. The one I started with, that goes on for sure. That one is fairly new, and I don't think I had released it yet. So this is a new release, and I'm going to call it Peace Tones. Peace Tones. It'll be up on Bandcamp later today. I'm also going to do this as a service, which means I'm going to make it a free download. You'll have the option to pay for it, which would be great, but it'll be a free download trying to offer some kind of positive energy to this madness. And I'm not going to make it a long album because the truth of the matter is that very few whole albums get listened to these days, do they? Do they? How many of the new records that you get do you actually listen to all the way through? So that's on my agenda today. J Bone Bacon, I wanted to ask you something. So, a viewer who I've never met shared in the comments that he just recently bought and received his copy of my album Myths, Realities. And this is older material of mine from the 90s and early 2000s that this label, these people in Greece, Infect Recordings, they really became fans of and asked me if they could do a release of this. I said, are you kidding? Hell yes. But they really did a nice job of it. Besides this record, the label put out a limited edition cassette. Can you see that? Dereck Higgins' Way Stasis. So that's actually available through this label in Greece. But they did 2 versions of the album. It's limited edition. They did 100 in this. I have 1 out of 100 here. I'm curious which version you got, because there's a U.S. version and a European version. I forget which one was which. So did you get this one? I don't remember if this is the American version, or did you get the blue one? And I'll show that. And I love this cover. That's my photography is too. Actually, I took that photograph in Germany. I forget the cathedral it was, but there's 150 of these. I forget which one was which, but this one, look at that blue. Ooh, this is gorgeous. Even I kind of like, ooh, wow. They did that for me? Isn't that beautiful? So which one of these did you get? I'm guessing maybe this is the version that you got. Jay, I think that's your name. I'm tickled that you dig my stuff. Thank you. Thank you. These sales, whatever they sell of this, whatever's remaining of these in Europe that they sell, that'd be great, because the label was more than fair to me. They treated me very well. I got my cut of one of these editions sold out. I think the American version sold out, and they paid me. How often does that happen to an artist on my level? We just get left in the dust a lot, okay? Stick with me, people. I'll get to some music here, or maybe you are understanding that I have a lot to say and share above and beyond just telling you about some new records, huh? I love doing that. But the whole picture is important to me. You know, folks come and saying that the only thing I come up here for is music. That don't mean shit to me, okay? All right, I ain't here to please your ass. You know, it's like, give a damn. Oh, I just care about the records. Frankly, that's disappointing to me. So, I will do a poll, but I have a little more I want to share about myself. So today is 4/20. It's the infamous, day to smoke, a moment of smoke after school or whatever started it. But it's also the sad anniversary of Columbine. Columbine, Colorado, that tragedy at the high school. Well, besides music, I've done some work in movies, not out in Hollywood, but here in the Midwest. And one of the movies that I did work on is about Columbine, April showers. Do you know about this movie? Probably not. It's not a bad movie. It really isn't. It's not a bad movie. It's not a dud. This was made in the 2000s. It's not a documentary. The screenplay was written by Robinson. His last name was Robinson. Andrew Robinson. He was a student at Columbine. He was there. And so it's really the gist of this is how the media tried to manipulate the situation for ratings and how they traumatized, and they do this constantly to get the story. They traumatize people. This was my role here was I didn't write the soundtrack, but I was hired as the wardrobe supervisor. I had done wardrobe as an assistant in one movie before this, which is where I got the experience and the reference for the movie Lovely Still. That was with Martin Landau and Ellen Burstyn. Amazing experience. So I got the job on this one, and I worked with, as you see, Kelly Blatz. He was a Disney kid. Daryl Sabara, Spy Kids. Janelle Parrish, Bratz, another Disney kid. Ellen Woglum, Ileana Douglas, Tom Arnold. Y'all know those names. I am responsible for the look, in part for the look of this movie. Every piece of clothing you see worn here came through me. And quick story. And Tom Arnold, if you happen to catch wind of this, I will be respectful. As the wardrobe supervisor, I had to put the wardrobe together in part according to the director's wish of what he wanted to see, how he saw things. And Tom Arnold was a teacher, a coach, and they thought they had a look picked out for Tom that they thought suited the movie. And so before Tom got here, we started shooting before everyone was here. We started shooting before Tom was here. So I went ahead and bought his wardrobe according to specifications laid out to me. And when Tom Arnold got to Omaha, let me just put it like this. Tom, if you happen to see this, do you even remember coming to Omaha for this movie? Because I sure do. I was the first person that he saw. I had to go down to the hotel when he got in because we were on a time schedule. And I needed to get him ready to shoot the next day. So I was the first person that he met. He was a mess. I'll just say that, okay? You read it, fill in the blanks. And he hated what the director had chosen for him to wear. He says, I am not wearing that horse shit. I'm not wearing that shit. He went off. And it was cool because I already had the experience of this is what you don't take it personally. This is your work. This is work. So he's just cussing a blue streak and just telling me, not personally that I'm fucked, but that this is some fucked up shit. And so I said, oh, okay, well, hey, how do you see this? And we talked it through and said, yeah, I kind of like that too. Got a hold of Andrew, said, Tom's not wearing this stuff, man. I gotta buy him a new set of shit. And I have to buy triplet of everything. Every single thing that he wore, I had to find it in triplet. Okay? And so it was, well, we're under the gun, so it had to be a go. So I was shopping till stores closed that night to get this done. These are good stories. So you folks that are maybe impatient about seeing some records, Sit on a no. I see. I'm human. Chill and listen to this. This is some good shit. So, when I met up with Tom the next day, first thing in the morning, once again down at the hotel before we even go out to the location to show him what I bought, based on our conversation, he said, "Bam, that's it." It was fantastic. Once again, this was a very intense experience making this movie because it was based on real events, and my background in mental health, I ended up wearing two caps. Okay, here's why. The movie recreates the shooting, the day, okay, and the chaos and the panic, and how we were able to do it so realistically is that the production company arranged with SWAT, the local SWAT team, to have them do their exercises for the month on location as part of our movie shoot, okay? So as a result, none of the actors or the extras could rehearse this. It was a one-time deal only, and the majority of the people in the movie are teenagers. And so when this happened, it was the real deal. It was real panic, okay? Once it started going down, the shooting, because we could only do it once. We only shot those scenes once. Couldn't redo anything. By the time we were done, many of the extras were traumatized, and thankfully their parents were there as well, because these kids were freaked out, and I had to do a whole lot of counseling, and serious talk-throughs, People went into panic, because it was very realistic. And then I also helped with, part of my job as wardrobe was to help with makeup. And so I learned how to do wounds. And I worked with someone with experience, and we did a fairly decent job. And it just really just fucked with the kids' heads. That was quite an experience. So that's what today is the anniversary of, is Columbine. I'm glad I experienced that, and I encourage you to go watch the movie. It's online. April Showers. I don't appear in the movie, but everything you see is my work. Everything you see involves my work. It was quite an experience. I did a couple more movies after that. Okay, so are we ready? 17 minutes, see? There's so much to say. Are you still with me? I was thinking of, rather than doing a naked pull, let me look over here and just tell you about something that means something to me. Or, okay, so, well, I've talked about that. Let's see if I can... Okay, well, I'm just going to go there, because you jazzers, you know this album, right? Realization, Eddie Henderson. I like to do it like this, because this is some significant shit I think you need to know about. Trumpeter who was with Herbie Hancock's Mwandishi Band, and this is the Mwandishi Band under Eddie Henderson's name. This is fantastic. This is cosmic jazz. And it's Patrick Gleason on synthesizers, as well as Hancock, Billy Hart on drums. This is one of my top dogs. I highly recommend this album to anyone. It's more than jazz, and it's a takeoff of the thing that Miles Davis really started, was Bitches Brew. Now, I'm just saying this, but it occurs to me that Gary Burton, the vibist, is probably someone who is not recognized for his early work in melding jazz and rock, doing some things pre-Bitches Brew that weren't like Bitches Brew, that no one else was doing. Check out the really early Gary Burton records, and you'll hear what I'm talking about. Norwegian Wood is one that I think of, which is a compilation of a couple albums on RCA. But you hear him doing some things with rock and jazz. It's like, this is ahead of its time. It's definitely ahead of its time. Okay, I'm going to do a pull. I'm going to do a pull right down here. Right down here. And I feel this one feels familiar. Novalis, Brandung. German progressive rock band that they don't get a lot of plays here. Love that art. Real keyboardy. For me, it was a classic period of this shit, you know, when this was made in the 70s. So I haven't played this in a while. I do like it. Brain label. Don't play this stuff much these days, but these kind of records are keepers for me. And part of the appeal has always been how this music would take me away from the mundanity of Omaha life. Ghetto life. You know, I'll put it like that. Yeah, so this is The Great Escape. Music, Novalis, Brandung. Let's go here. Don't know what I got. I don't know what I got, so we'll both be surprised. Okay, this is something that was, I think someone sent this to me, or did I take a chance on this? Stephen R. Smith. Cities. It's if I remember this correctly, I do. This is on the ambient side, and it sounds like the cover, and it's good. There's a little description here. A rich and washed out soundscape of wheezing melancholy melodies, plenty dark and enigmatic, lovely and mysterious. I will agree with that. That's a good assessment of this. Don't know anything about the artist. Don't know if he made any more records. Forget how I came across this. I might have taken a chance on this. It might have been sent to me, but this is a good one. Stephen R. Smith. Cities. Cities. Really, really doing a whole lot better today. The headaches are gone. The hot flashes are almost gone. But one of the things I did, that's an old home remedy that some of you folks know. I went ahead and bit the bullet yesterday, and I chugged some apple cider vinegar. Some of you all know about that. All the antioxidants or whatever all is in it, but you know, it's rough. And I come from the old school where you learned you didn't dilute it. You just chugged it. And it's just, you know, but it's powerful. And I know that's helped. Cheers. Okay. Well, these are my man. These are my dogs. Japan. Oil on canvas. Live. This is actually, this was a gift. And I don't have a laser disc player, so I've never played this, but someone sent me this laser disc of Japan's Oil on Canvas. Isn't that boss? Bill Camarada also did that for me. I remember that. Bill, so cool if you see this. Sent me a Resonance laser disc, which I, again, for the long, it's probably still sealed because I can't play it. But I love having this, and I love this band. I love this band. Richard Barbieri, who went on to Porcupine Tree, proud to say that he has bought tracks and a couple albums of mine. We interacted, and he shared with me that, you know, some of the rhythmic things I was doing was good for him to hear. I noticed that David Sylvian is pretty active on Instagram. I keep wondering if he's going to return to making music. I'd love that. But when I say Instagram, I want to just mention someone who I don't buy his records because I'm not listening to them, but someone who I really like and is really active on social media, particularly Instagram, is Snoop Dogg. I really like him. Would love to meet him. My older brother James, who is better now, worked for Death Row, so he hung out with Snoop and those guys. He's the kind of guy where I can see, well, you get what you see is what you get. He's real genuine. Just really like him. Okay, folks, that's what I have right now, and I really love hearing from you. And you'll know by checking the comments whether or not you said some stupid shit, because it ain't gonna last. It's like I'm just not tolerating it. And Rebecca Curry said it, the ignorant and stupid, that's why they're ignorant and stupid. They don't recognize it. They don't have it. They can't even see the objectivity of, whoa, that was really kind of dumb. Okay. Take care.